Hey everyone and welcome. In this video we look at the war criminals interview on Sky News where host Adam Boulton, the man looks like he's trying really hard not to fart all the time. Am I wrong? Tries to get Blair to say we should have an inquiry into Boris and the Tories' handling of the lurgy. Now, I don't know about you, but this media we got now are beyond a joke. I'd rather get news off Bob, the local pisshead, to be honest. Firstly, this virus is new, so any response would be new. These idiots are always looking for someone to blame except themselves, aren't they? If anything comes from this lurgy pandemic, I hope and pray it's the demise of the media. But let's read. This article is titled Tony Blair questioned on whether Boris should face inquiry like ex-PM over Iraq war. Now let's have a quick look at this inquiry then, shall we? Now the Iraq inquiry, otherwise known as the Chilcot Inquiry, after its chairman, Sir John Chilcot, was commissioned in 2009 by Gordon Brown. So you can see this isn't biased right from the off, can't you? Now, what were the results of the inquiry? Let's have a look. On the 6th of July 2016, Chilcot announced the report's publication more than 7 years after the inquiry was announced. Usually referred to as the Chilcot Report by the news media, the document stated that at the time of the Iraq invasion in 2003, Saddam Hussein did not pose an urgent threat to British interests. That intelligence regarding weapons of mass destruction was presented with unwarranted certainty, that peaceful alternatives to war had not been exhausted, that the United Kingdom and the United States had undermined the authority of the United Nations Security Council, that the process of identifying the legal basis was far from satisfactory, and that a war was unnecessary. So basically, he's a war criminal. The inquiry found him out as a war criminal, and nothing was done. Nothing. Does anyone remember him even getting a reprimand? Because I don't. But anyway, let's read the rest of the article and then have a quick look at the video. Tony Blair was put on the spot as he was questioned on whether Boris Johnson should face an inquiry on the failures of the government amidst the lurgy pandemic. Tony Blair was asked whether it would be fair for Boris Johnson to face a public inquiry on his conduct during the lurgy pandemic as he did in the aftermath of the war in Iraq. Yeah, it was a show. It was a farce, to be honest. Sky News host Adam Boulton. Look at Adam Boulton, guys, and you tell me that that isn't a face of someone that looks like they've got a big fart brewing and they're on national television and they're holding it in to the best of their ability. And then he opens his mouth and lets it out. Question the former Prime Minister as he discussed his proposals to end the lockdown Mr Johnson declared to slow down the pandemic. Mr Boulton said, I want to ask you about responsibility. Okay. So let's have a quick look at the video then.
We have a situation as we've had this weekend where the government said we're going to get a consignment of PPE from Turkey and it doesn't come.
No, I don't really like this interview style at all. The smarmy little look he's got on his face drives me nuts.
Is it fair to hold the Prime Minister and ministers accountable for those failures which have fairly drastic consequences?
Well, I just think it's important in these circumstances, having been in the situation myself of taking difficult decisions in government, I just think it's important to realise, and this is why whatever I'm saying, I put in the bracket of constructive advice, not criticism. I mean, this is a hellishly difficult challenge, right? There's never been anything like it. And so, you know, it will be very easy to come along in hindsight and say, well, you could have done this and you could have done that. And that will happen, by the way, whether I think it should happen or not. But I just think it's important right now. It shouldn't be the focus of our attention. The focus of our attention should be to make sure that the next phase of this, which is the controlled, managed revival of the economy, happens in the best way possible.
Now, as you can tell, Adam at this point he's just prodding for the next soundbite that he can attack the Tories with. You know it, I know it, but let's continue. You, of course, with the whole post 9/11 and Iraq war, were held accountable and there was a public investigation. Yeah, it was a public investigation that took 7 years and then it was washed over as per usual. If we have a situation where more people died because the government was off the mark, or because we have a situation where the government said we're going to get a consignment of PPE from Turkey and it doesn't come, is it fair to hold the Prime Minister and ministers accountable for those failures? No, it is not. You said it there, right in that sentence. The government said we were going to get a consignment from Turkey and it doesn't come. That doesn't say that the government stopped it coming, did it? That said that Turkey stopped it coming, which have fairly drastic consequences. Sorry for shouting. The British government confirmed on Sunday a shipment of 40,000 additional personal protective equipment, PPE, expected to arrive from Turkey, and we really believed that Turkey were going to do anything. You've got to remember, Turkey were using people as a weapon not so long ago. Have we forgotten this? On Sunday and have been delayed, would only arrive on Monday evening at the earliest. Mr Blair insisted the current situation should not spark criticism, as he insisted the government is facing a hellishly difficult challenge. And yet you sat there criticising the pair of yous, aren't you? I just think in these circumstances, having been in this situation myself of taking difficult decisions. Oh, killing millions is a difficult decision, is it? Lying to your own people to enable you to do it is a difficult decision, is it? Oh, you poor man. What a disgrace to society this man is. I am ashamed that this guy is even British, to be honest. He should be living in exclusion on an island in the middle of nowhere with no contact, in my opinion. I know, very extreme, but I don't care. We've had a lot of trouble has gone on in this country because of that man and that man alone. Oh, and Labour. Why is it their failures if Turkey don't send something that they said they were going to? You see what I mean? It's just, let's look for the next soundbite. This is Adam Bolton that's saying this. This isn't Blair. You'd expect it from Blair with political agendas, but this is an interviewer that's saying these lines. He just wants the next clickbait so that he can wind the sheeple up in the country that still believe these morons. Am I wrong? Let me know. There's never been anything like it. It would be very easy to come along in hindsight and say, we could have done this, we could have done that. And that will happen, by the way, whether I think it should happen or not. But I just think it's important right now. It shouldn't be the focus of our attention. Several members of the public question the decision to have Tony Blair contribute to the Lurgy debate as an expert. I'm one of those people. One viewer said, we will take Tony Blair seriously when we have found the weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. Exactly. 1 million dead based on this man's lies, and we are giving him airtime as an expert. He's no expert. Another said, Tony Blair led Great Britain into the Iraq War and the chaos and carnage that followed it. What right does he have to count on such matters? The Prime Minister and his government have been accused of failing to adequately prepare for the pandemic, facing particular criticism over the number of personal protective equipment stockpiled and failing to organise mass testing quick enough. Right, let me stop you here. At the time the virus came out, it was classed as a novel virus. Novel basically means never seen before. Never seen before. How do you have a test ready, and how do you ensure you have adequately prepared for something that's never been seen before? You understand why I'm getting a bit peed off with this media rubbish that comes out of the mouths all the time? As far as I'm aware, as well, there's a load of reports at the minute that the tests that they have got have been infecting people with the virus. I will be doing a story on that soon, so keep an eye on the channel, everyone. But Downing Street has shot down the claims and accused the article of being riddled with falsehoods and errors. Yeah, well, of course. The government spokesman said the article contains a series of falsehoods and errors and actively misrepresents the enormous amount of work which is going on in government and the earliest stages of the Lurgy outbreak. This is an unprecedented global pandemic, and we have taken the right steps at the right time to combat it, guided at all times by the best scientific advice. You have taken the advice of our scientists, yes you have, and I will agree with that, they have, and they're obviously trying the best. Whether that is the right option, only time will tell, to be honest. Sweden have gone a whole different route, so there will be something to gauge it off. So we'll see. But either way, who at this moment can tell us which one's right? No one. Not even the scientists can tell us that at the minute. And yet the journalists are trying to find someone to pin it on already. It just shows you, doesn't it? The media will use any opportunity, any disaster, any heartache to progress their own ideologies. And we all know what ideologies they are. And do we really want them? Because I don't think we do. And the people of the UK don't either. The government has been working day and night to battle against Lurgy, delivering a strategy designed at all times to protect our NHS and save lives. Now, what's my opinion? I would like to say that I still hold firm with the Tories at the moment. I'm hoping that they do the right thing in regards to getting this lockdown lifted as soon as possible, because I do believe that the lockdown is going to be a lot more detrimental to the people of this country than any virus. I may be wrong. I am no scientist, like I've said, but that's my personal belief. But before we go, let's have a look at the comments section, shall we? Because it's always worth a laugh. First comment: drop dead Blair, you piece of crap. Good start. Lesson in how to become the most hated man in Britain. Seek advice from Tony Blair. Tony Blair lied his country into a war equals act of treason. Why is he not in jail or executed for his treason? If you want to look into the face of evil, look into the image of Tony Blair above. When you are as overflowing of evil as Tony Blair is, it comes from your very poor. Blair equals personification of evil. Like using the word evil, that one, didn't it? Blair by name, Blair by nature. This war criminal has no relevance to now. He should be in prison and not plastered all over the national newspapers. I do fully agree with that, but I thought we could have another laugh at their ex-Labour expense. Prostitutes questioned by public on why they keep giving airtime to mass murderers who they likely drink tea, laugh and giggle with after a contrived, hard-hitting interview. On the contrary, it was under Blair's government that almost all of the UK's manufacturing industry moved to China. What a bad move that was. Under the carbon neutral banner, when all it did was move the carbon to China. How does that save the planet? So as you can tell, the people in the comment section are not happy about this either. But I'd like to know what you think. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell icon. If you've liked the video, don't forget to hit the like button. And share it out, everyone. That'd really help out get around the YouTube algorithm. And I'll see you on the next one.